Um, when Dr. Kofi Roberts phoned me and told me about this group, that is the USA Nkrumahists Revival Group, I was very excited because I hope this group is going to remind Ghana and the world about the great man, Osajifo Kantamanto, Osodumuja, Oyadeye, Kwame Nkrumah. Now, if anyone of you here remember the answer, please answer me before I speak. Chobe! 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 Thank you. That's very reminiscent because that's how Nkrumah always started his speeches at rallies. However, receiving a text to talk about somebody like Nkrumah, whom I've known from the store of personal knowledge I have of him, means today is not my opportunity to say much about the man I had known as a friend and a father since I was 17 years old in 1950. Now, before you start taking your calculation to calculate my age, I am 86 years old. Some 10 years ago, I went to my hairdresser. Next to it, in the same room, is a barbering section for men. I saw some young guys speaking Twi. And because they were speaking Twi, I just went to them and said hello to them in Fanti. And just out of the blue, I asked them, by the way, what do you know of Kwame Nkrumah? They were as surprised of the question as the person coming to see them, because this is a barber session, all guys, and here's a woman coming to speak to them and asking, who is Kwame Nkrumah? One of them answered, oh, he was the first president of Ghana. Said, correct. The other one said, he built the Akosombo Dam and electricity. I said, correct. And the other ones talked about Tema Harbour. I said, correct. I said, what next? That's the end of it. They knew nothing else about Kwame Nkrumah. So I asked them about the industries of Nkrumah, which Nkrumah established. Do you know about the sugar factories in Akosombo and Esuchari, in Esuchari and Commander? They haven't heard of it. I said, so don't you know under Nkrumah, Ghana was producing enough sugar for Ghana, and we stopped importing sugar from this country produced by, this is very important, Tate and Lyle. Remember that. They haven't heard it. Have you heard about the Bogatanga meat factory, which produced corned beef, cold water corned beef? They said no. I said it was better than Exeter corned beef, which was produced in this country. So that's another point. And I kept going. What are the metal industries? There was a time when there was a building going on in Ghana, every single nail, from the huge nails to the minute tiny nails, were all manufactured in Ghana. Have you heard of them? Nothing. I went on and on, asking about what about the rubber plantation in Suaim near Takwa, where Ghana did not only produce the rubber, but we're producing car tires for our cars under the technology of Firestone. And they said they haven't heard about it. What about the Saltpond ceramics? Producing tiles for bathroom, and they haven't heard of anything. Now, it is from what these answers I got from these young guys that immediately came to my mind when Dr. Roberts phoned me. If we want a group to tell Ghanaians, to tell people about the achievement of Ghana, of Nkrumah, and what we're going to do, they must first be told what did Nkrumah achieve. Now, after some time, those of us who really worked with him, who knew him, who talked with him, would not be there. And if you guys now doing this work have to do it well, then that is your job. And that is why I agreed to come here to give you the encouragement to continue. Now, we all know that young people really don't like reading. And with your technology, all they have to do, they knew how to do, is holding their phones. So whatever means you're going to use to let them know about Nkrumah through this, whether by regular information, whatever, then we encourage you to do it. Because until they know what the person has achieved, as these young men I met at the saloon, they didn't know, they certainly wouldn't know where to go next from where. Now, when Nkrumah came to the scene, he was to the UGCC, United Gold Coast Convention. At that time, with Dr. Dontoh, Edward Akufo-Addo, William Ofurata, Akwaje, and Obetebi Lamte. These were elite, they were lawyers. The group was led by these lawyers and doctors and businessmen. And Nkrumah asked them, where is the representation of the youth, of the common man here? And their answer was, we don't need the common man. They have nothing to contribute. And that was why Nkrumah left the UGCC and established the Convention People's Party, I'm wearing their cloth now, in 1949. So as soon as I left school, 1950, don't ask me why, I don't know. I just found myself going straight to the meeting place of the CPP and started going to meetings there. I remember they're calling, when I went, I was unique because I was the only person at that meeting who had attended secondary school. Everybody there was either illiterate, the marketing, or some other not highly educated person. So it didn't take long for me to become a leader. And they asked, what's your name? I said, my name, Maysel Abakan. Oh, Rabba Mercy. I said, no, it's not Mercy. I am Maysel. Okay, oh, Mercy. So I said, look, my middle name is Stella. Ah, that's what you understand. So if you know me as Stella Abakan, it's because the market women couldn't call Maysel. That's why I still, it's May Stella. It's because they didn't know how to call the other one. And when Nkrumah came to the scene and established his party, and they call us veranda boys and girls, it's because he thought that dealing with the people you are fighting for independence for must be involved. At that time, Nkrumah's first plan was acceleration of education. He had this accelerated education plan. And that was what he learned the Cocoa Marketing Board Scholarship to achieve. Now, the Cocoa Marketing Board Scholarship initially was just for medicine, engineering, accountancy, and the others. And I had, at the age of 8, told myself, or told by the woman, the first African lawyer in West, the first Black woman in West Africa, Stella Thomas, that I would one day be like her. So I was going to be a lawyer. But the Cocoa Marketing Board had no law in the scheme. Fortunately, I saw the government gazette, which said, which was advertising for candidates to be trained as lawyers. At that time, I was already, at 18, I was already a member of the CPP National Executive Committee. And when I saw this Gazette notice, there was an executive meeting of CPP coming on. I decided to go to this meeting with the Gazette. Again, I wanted the Cocoa Marketing Board to give scholarship. And everybody said, no, lawyers come and do their own work and they don't like to work. It's because they get more money practicing. So I showed them, this is the government Gazette. The government has decided to train lawyers because they don't get Africans, Ghanaians to become, to work in the establishment. So if the government is allowing, and that was the colonial government in those days, that's 1954. If colonial government was giving scholarship to study law, then why can't Cocoa Marketing Board? And whenever we went to National Executive Committee and somebody is speaking, you just watch Nkrumah. If Nkrumah is nodding, it means he quite supports what you are saying. So when it's put to the vote, you just know where the vote will go if you just watch Nkrumah said. So when I was speaking about my scholarship for law by Cocoa Marketing Board, Nkrumah was nodding. So as soon as it finished, they all approved. Yes, Cocoa Marketing Board would give scholarship for law. At that time, I was doing my A-level at the Kumasi College of Technology, which was established to give people who had left secondary school but didn't have opportunity to do A-level. And the reason I didn't have opportunity to do A-level was I finished school at 17 and I was too young to go to do an A-level at the pre-university, which started only at 19. So when technology was opened for those who had left secondary school previously, I qualified and I went. I applied for the scholarship. I was awarded the scholarship. And immediately a lot of complaints to Kwame Nkrumah. Hey, that Stella has been awarded scholarship to do law and he has never been to a secondary school before. So the Sajifo called me. I knew he called me. I was on that terms. That man was more than my father. He called me, said, Stella, come. It's about the scholarship you've been given. So I went to Nkrumah. Because he said about scholarship and my qualification, I went with my O-level and A-level certificates. And I said, Osajifo, I'm telling you to show that he has a human personal level, not just the political phase, a human level. He had been told that I've been given scholarship, I was not worthy. So I said, Osajifo, please promise me my request. I'm going to ask a request of you. Nkrumah said, Stella, you want me to promise and I haven't heard what you want me to promise. I said, please just promise you do it. If I say it, I ask it and it's rubbish, please tell me. Osajifo sat down quietly. He said, okay, what's your request? I said, promise me that after I've shown you my certificates, every single person who has been awarded Cocoa Marketing Board scholarship this year to study anything, set up a committee and let them vet whether they are qualified for it or not. Osajifo said, that's not a serious request. What is it? So I showed my certificate. My O-level, I had 5 A's and 2 credits. And C credit is not ABC. At that time, it was Cambridge School Certificate. And it's A is distinction, C is A, and P pass and whatever. So Nkrumah said, what? And I said, yes. And I was the top woman, I was the top girl that year, 1950. So I showed him my A-level too. And he saw that I also passed A-level with 2 A's and a B. Nkrumah said, why did you do that? I said, Kumasi College of Technology, that's the certificate. He said, so when I was seeing you at Subin Valley, I thought you were so mad with politics that this small girl is coming to Kumasi just to see me speak. I said, no, sir. I was doing my A-level. So why didn't you tell everybody? I said, nobody asked me. Everybody, we talk politics when we met. So that's also an aspect of Nkrumah. He was very astute. He knew what he was doing. And when there's a complaint, he will go through. He will not just say, no, this is my person. This is my nominee. So let them go. He will not do it. He was that, what is the word? He was just in what he does. And that's a man whose steps you want to follow. Now, we've talked about the buildings of Nkrumah here. Everybody seems to forget the main building here of number 13 Belgrave Square. When Nkrumah wanted to buy the building here, nobody wanted 30. You know this country and number 13. It was a 13. It was a superstitious, and therefore the price was low. Nkrumah said, I want it. And so he bought it. Yes, there was 38 Queen's Gate. That also was sold when another government came. Then there was Nyaniba House. That one was sold. Then there was all the buildings that Nkrumah bought. He bought for Ghana. And apart from the Belgrave Square itself, all the other buildings have been sold, and we have nothing. So you've asked me to keep it short. I'll keep it short. But all I want you to do is that do not allow this present government, Nana Akufo-Addo's government, to rewrite history. The reason they want to rewrite history is that they have never forgiven Nkrumah for being the one to gain independence. They want to tell Ghanaians that Dankwa, his uncle, and Nana Akufo-Addo's uncle is J.B. Dankwa. His father is Edward Akufo-Addo, and his other uncle, William Oforata, that they brought independence to Ghana. And all Nkrumah did was to read the Declaration of Independence from the Queen. How gullible do they think Ghanaians are? But of course, if they write those things and nobody read them, and there isn't a group like yours to tell people that this is not true, sooner or later, somebody will believe it and say, oh, yes, they wrote it. But nobody complained. So these are things you must highlight. Even Founders Day, which used to be Nkrumah's Day only, on 21st September, they had wanted to rule it out completely, but I think the tremor in the country was such that they only removed the Founders Day and left it as Kwame Nkrumah's Memorial Day, 21st, and has appointed another Founders Day just so it will include Dankwa, Oforata, and the rest. Of course, it includes Nkrumah as well. But that's only a ploy. What they are really trying to achieve is people to forget Nkrumah. And I urge all of you here that guy should not be allowed to be forgotten. Don't rewrite history. Just keep on. And whatever support you want for those of us in our 80s, still alive, still around, we will give you. But all the best. And thank you.
What wonderful.